Hey Dan, it's Thursday, the 16th of July, and I thought I'd give you an update on that. Not Japanese, but actually Chinese student. Um, they were able to resuscitate him, or rather his body. He's in critical condition. They life flighted him to La Crosse, and he's in critical condition over there. What I have no indication of or don't know of is if there's any brain activity. I'm guessing if he was underwater for 5 minutes, and I know we were on shore for almost 15 before they loaded him in the ambulance, and he didn't have any discernible heartbeat or pulse until well on the way on the ambulance. So it's interesting. I'm trying to talk Marshall through it and trying to explain to him, how one can both have hope, but also be realistic about what the likelihood is of a recovery. I don't want to be morbidly pessimistic, but nor do I want to be hopeful beyond reason. Do you know what I mean? Somebody said, "Well, we could have a miracle," and it's like, well, I guess if by miracle they mean we don't understand how the end result came about. Again, I hate to sound so friggin' scientific, but I'm just not sure that God chooses one person out of billions and decides to bestow a miracle upon that person. You know what I mean? I don't think it's likely going to happen in my family or your family. Inexplicitly, or rather inexplicably, okay, that I understand, but miracle I'm not so certain. So anyway, I'll keep you up to date on him as I hear things. I did go out and swim again today. That was my first time back. Well, since Tuesday I've been swimming, trying to swim Tuesday, Thursday, open water. Glenn, who was in our open water group, I think you met Glenn. Tall guy. He's the one whose girlfriend's Lisa from Canada. Anyway, he bought a Garmin wrist GPS, which is like a big wristwatch. It's pretty cool, and actually measured the distance from the shelter to Thalia's Tree and back. And it turned out to be about 0.9 miles, which is great because that means I'm swimming. I was thinking I was only swimming maybe 0.6 miles there and back, and as it turns out, it's 0.9 miles. So I'm obviously I swim faster in open water than I do in the pool, which seems reasonable to think that. My dad thought it was the other way around because you would be able to push off from the wall, but for me, I'm a slow flip turner, so open water is definitely faster. But I've been trying to swim 4 laps, so that's almost 4 miles, which is great. I didn't realize I was swimming quite that distance, so I'm pretty pleased about that. So I've been swimming Tuesday, Thursday out at LeCaine Park, and I've been swimming 6 in the morning on 2 days a week so far. I'd love to up it to 3. Up at St. Mary's, we have the Masters group again. So, what's interesting, Dan, is that I notice when I go out to LeCaine Park and I'm by myself, I don't swim quite as fast. I'm not quite as relaxed. I think it's the heebie-jeebies effect. There's many days that I've been out there by myself swimming and I'm imagining seeing things in the water. Not that I'm actually thinking I see things in the water, but I'm imagining what it would be like if I were to see something in the water, or if something grabbed me, or McGilligott, what is that Dr. Seuss book, McGilligott's Pool, or where he's in this little pond and actually it leads all the way down and around and over to the ocean. And I keep thinking about that. I keep thinking, because you come across warm spots and cool spots, and it's just kind of creepy out there swimming in water you can't see the bottom of. And the heebie-jeebie effect is a big one, because that's what that causes is it causes your heart rate to go up and causes the first stages of panic to set in. And you really have to relax, calm yourself down, keep breathing, keep swimming. But I noticed it today. Today the wind was blowing really hard, probably 35 miles an hour across the lake. And so the first leg to Thalia's Tree was straight into the wind. And it's funny because it didn't take me it took only maybe about 30 seconds longer, 40 seconds longer to go against the wind than it did with the wind. Primarily because I'm not up above where the wind can push me, and the wind is really just pushing the top 4 inches of water across. But the only hard part was that you really had to breathe. You could not lift your face up to breathe. You really had to breathe sideways and even a little back to keep from getting a mouthful of water. And I actually like swimming in that stuff because it's a bit of a challenge, and it adds a third dimension to the swimming that you never get in the swimming pool. So I like that a lot. But I noticed that I did a couple laps, and then everybody else showed up, and then we went out and did a lap together, and came back, and that was my third. And I suggested going out because I wanted to do another one to finish my 4 tonight. And we got about, the first 2 guys took off, and then Glenn and I took off, and we got about 200 yards out. So maybe a quarter of the way out, and both of my calves cramped, and then both of my hamstrings cramped. And what they did is they cramped, really hard, and then they released. But if I tried to point my toes and keep in the good swimmer position, they would cramp really badly, really hard. And of course, here I am 200 yards out in this lake, and I'm thinking, I don't want to panic. Panic's bad. So I quickly tread water, and I could see Glenn. I yelled for Glenn because we had 4 of us going out to Thalia's Tree, and I wanted to let him know that I was going to turn back because I didn't want them to get over to the tree and realize that I wasn't around and be concerned, especially given what happened on Tuesday. But Glenn couldn't hear me. He, doesn't hear all that great apparently, and so I, of course, I don't hear him that well either. But I was yelling pretty loud. In fact, so loud that both Lisa and Kathy could hear me. They were on shore, and he couldn't hear me, so I ended up having to turn back. But the interesting thing was, I had to just let my legs not dangle in the water straight down, but just kind of float dead, sort of dead weight behind me, and I had to just work on pulling with my arms, which is not that tough, honestly, because I work all the time with what's called a pull buoy, which is you put this sort of flotation device between your thighs, and you just let your legs hang while you pull with your upper body. But my concern was, here I am out in the middle of this lake, and my legs are cramping badly, and I had to get back to shore. So it really gave me pause to think about what I should do if I'm out by myself in the future. But even with people, it's not like they're going to save me because they can't hear me if I'm screaming. We're all swimming with our heads down. That's the way it goes. So anyway, I was able to get back, obviously. Otherwise, I wouldn't be talking to you. Well, it looks like my 10-minute stuff. I'm going to cut this video off, and I think I'm actually going to make another one because I have more to talk about. So have a good night. We'll talk to you very soon.